Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And Ted, I have to say, tonight we have people from all around the world and possibly even the future.
Yes, I think definitely the last part, the future for sure, Cara Delane. So, Cara, it's a great honor to welcome our featured guests tonight. Welcome back, David Lucas from Australia. David, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
And great to see you. You look rested and relaxed. A little time off
Yes.
you had. Yep. And you're coming to us from the future, as Cara said. It's what, Thursday morning, right?
It is Thursday, lovely and sunny morning.
And David, you recognize the person in the chat there, Tony Owens. He was on with you last time when we had that delicious affair live here on After Dark. So
love it.
And Cindy, how do I pronounce your last name properly?
It is Zeba.
Cindy Zeba is with us tonight. She's been on a great panel coming up at the Roundtable on getting your Fixed Ops branding fix on with Michelle McLean. So Cindy is with us tonight. And Cindy, you're not in Florida. You're not in New Jersey. Where are you tonight?
I am actually in Kentucky tonight. I was on a little bit of a business trip going home tomorrow to Jersey, but I guess Tampa, Florida is my true home. So kind of in the middle.
All right. Love it. So, Cara, I know we're live tonight and what's on just LinkedIn and Facebook?
LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So I see some comments rolling in. Hopefully everyone is sharing and reposting the video and dropping some comments down below. And we will have a little bit of trivia tonight. So stay tuned.
And, you know, I got to call out Tony Owens. Good evening, Sean and Tiffany. I think that's Tiffany. Good evening tonight. Tony is recuperating from shoulder, I believe, replacement surgery. So, Tony, we wish you well and send all of our love. And, Cara, we're not going to do the Vegemite thing tonight, right?
I hope not, because I didn't prepare for it. And if so, that was on purpose because I've done it twice and it's not enjoyable. Sorry, David. I don't know how.
That's okay.
Well, tonight's show has an exclusive sponsor. And, David, I know they are in Australia and in New Zealand as well. Cara, who is that sponsor tonight?
The lovely BG Products, partners beyond products, and they are so heavily involved in everything we do with the Fixed Ops Roundtable, including our upcoming pop-up event next week. So thank you to BG.
Yep, and there's Bob Tasca with his BG Mustang and Cara Delane. Bob Tasca, the auto dealer, is going to be with us, and race car driver, record-holding race car driver. A little bit later this summer, we're going to meet up with Bob in person at one of our pop-up events. And Cara, give us the story on the pop-ups. We're doing our first one in just about a week from now. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I guess 8 days away now, we will be in St. Augustine, Florida at Bozard Ford Lincoln, and we're having our first ever pop-up event. And it's going to be a packed 2-hour live streamed event. So it'll be live streamed on all of our social medias, so you can watch it there. And we're going to be talking about everything Ed Roberts, mobile service, of course, the culture in their dealership, the women there, and so much more. So be on the lookout for that next Thursday, May 11th at Bozard Ford Lincoln. And like I said, you can watch it live on all of our social medias.
So the time on that, Cara, I understand is 1 p.m. Eastern time. And how are people going to get to see that? It'll be here on the social media, on LinkedIn and on Facebook as well?
Yes, I believe that you've set up an event already for that. And I know we've been heavily advertising it. Bozard is going to start advertising it. So I'm sure you guys won't be able to miss it because it will be all over social media.
All right. And then after that, Cara, we're going to have the big event. We're having the 80s event, the one that Cindy is on with a panel. Tell us about, because that's coming up like right after, I think Sunday is Mother's Day. And then the next day is the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Yeah, so we get back from Bozard, and then right around the corner, May 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, we are going back to the 80s with the Fixed Ops Roundtable. 4 fully packed days of Fixed Ops Roundtable content for everyone. And if you haven't already got your complimentary tickets for that, you can get them after the show at fixedopsroundtable.com. And yesterday, we just released the agenda for all 4 days. So if you're wondering what time you're speaking or somebody that you want to hear speak, it's all on fixedopsroundtable.com.
Yeah. So, Cindy, I believe your segment, the panel, when I'm talking to you about that tonight, I think that's on day number 4 with Michelle. I know you've got Katie Mayers on there. You've got some great folks. You got Martha Alvarado. I think Kara spends a little time on there. Cindy, it was a lot of fun to have you on that.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you and what you do. I know you work with Adam Marburger at Ascent. And by the way, Adam is speaking that morning as well on the event. So tell us what you do.
I absolutely love my team and Adam, so that's exciting. We're on the same day. So we provide dealers, or I provide dealers, products and services, but most of all, coaching to just help them reach their highest potential, to maximize every penny. My agency comes in and they back me up with the absolute highest level of coaching. It is what we are known for. It's not something that we did. It's something that we do every single day, every week. We're in the stores or in front of in some way, all of our team and the management, finance. We leave absolutely nothing on the table. And how we do it mostly is by helping the people first at the dealership.
Wow. And Cindy, you're not just or are you regional, or are you all over the country with the Ascent Dealer Services? Are they everywhere?
Well, because I'm from Tampa, Florida. I'm super jealous right now of all of the friends I have posting on Facebook at Digital Dealer, right in my own backyard. But I've moved to the Philadelphia area, which works for me because it is the absolute #1 sports area in the country. The Sixers are on right now, playoff game. So after this, turn your channels and root for the Sixers. So I'm kind of like Florida if I can. Philly is where I'm focusing. And I just recently got back to Kentucky. I have a non-compete that ended. So I just came to boot, scoot, and pick up all my business. And I love the people here in Kentucky. So why not do business with people that I absolutely love to be around?
That is a great state, Kentucky. That's, that is a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And there's great car dealers in Kentucky as well. I found that as well, right?
And horse races, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, in fact, my first partner in the car business and training, he's Kara, the same way I tell you stories. He used to tell me stories how when he was a salesperson, he went to his first Kentucky Derby. He was working in Detroit, and he drove down on a Friday night with friends, and they went to the Kentucky Derby. It was quite a story, but that's a big affair, horses down there, and it's a great thing. David, give us the background on you there at Mitsubishi in the Down Under.
Mitsubishi itself is going to be pretty busy this year. I mean, they've got the new Triton launch. I think it's called the L200 in other countries. So they're going really, really great this year. They've got a lot happening. Us as a dealership, we've got the 4 brands. We've got the MG, Mitsubishi, of course, Toyota and Mazda. We're getting a new showroom built this year for MG, and hopefully not long after that, that's when we get our new Mitsubishi showroom updated. So we've got a lot happening this year and next. So I can see some great things changing for our dealership.
Kara, I love the way David does the merchandising in the dealership, with the cars and with other things as well.
I know, and it really speaks to kind of the environment that he's in, because it's not something that you would see here in a lot of the U.S., because you have so many cool things in Australia that we don't have here in the States. So I did love seeing some pictures last time you were on of all of that, and it looks really neat. And I know I've been there, so beautiful country. I would never leave.
And David, you've given us a lot of tips on the language as well. You've given us a lot of new phrases being on the show.
Yes. Being here in Australia, you do get to know a few slang words, and how you say a few things can be a bit different, but that's Australia.
Did you know about that ute? Remember he mentioned that, I think the last time.
I think I asked him. what that was. I was
Yeah.
like, why do they call it a ute? Because when I was studying abroad over there, you know, we were with other college students in Australia at universities there, and they were like, oh, just, you know, jump in the ute and we'll go on over to this other building. And I was like, what is a ute? I'm like walking outside.
It's actually short for utility. It's short for utility. So it's just like a work utility. So.
But we don't have anything that looks like that here. They were very
we're a bit different.
If you say ute to me, I think my cousin Vinny. I think Jersey and New York. So,
Kara, so she's totally acclimated here with New Jersey.
Right,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
You're making Ted feel better right now, knowing his lingo, because I never know what he's talking about.
Yep. Yeah. The two Utes, they got stuck in Alabama, right? With Joe Pesci. So that was great stuff. So
great show.
David, you probably have F&I providers, right? Who do, you know, give us the background. And I know we've talked a lot about service and parts. Nick, good evening as well. Tell us about how does finance and F&I work there?
Yeah, so certainly we use the tighter finance services. So basically we have a lot to do with that. And then TFS, which we shorten it, what's called TFS. Obviously then we go through our process in trying to sell a vehicle, and then we introduce our customers or guests to the business manager. And then that's when they go forward and then try and, follow the process in helping them with their, with their finances.
Cindy, business manager. We use that term as well, right?
We sure do.
Yeah. So interesting.
Very important, a very important key with a part of customer service.
Yep. Yeah. So Cindy, the work you do, you call on or your company works with dealers and call on dealers, and you cultivate that relationship, because it is, at the end of the day, it's a people business, and it is all about the relationships, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I call on dealerships and utilize my team to help with a lot of the coaching aspect, but I come in, I kick in, and I help a lot with the processes, the implementation with all of the staff between, sales, service, the finance department, and I really help these stores keep everyone accountable.
Sorry, I got distracted. Allie Peters is on. So welcome, Allie. That's good stuff.
Ted's favorite person, Allie.
Yeah, that's what Kara says now, right? So that's what she says. You've used that word coaching a couple times, Cindy. I think that's different than training, right? The work that you do. Go in a little bit more in depth, if you don't mind, on that coaching aspect.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different than just coming in and really just training on a specific product, visiting the store and dropping off donuts every month or who knows when. Again, coaching isn't something that we did. It's something that we constantly do. So on a weekly basis, we're either on a Zoom call, coaching, talking with finance and management, and we really dive in a little bit deeper to understand who that human is, their culture, what motivates that person to be successful might not be the same thing that motivates me. So a lot of dealers, when we come in to pitch or work with them, money is a big thing, but money isn't the thing that motivates me. So you have to know who you're speaking to. Money might not be the thing that motivates that finance person. For me, it's building that relationship and seeing those people that you're helping have success. And I know that if you help the people, and if they have success, then the money will just come.
Wow. And that's fascinating, because a lot of companies like yours don't take that route, right? They don't even go anywhere near that. Is that from Adam? Did he really, initiate that? I mean, at the top, or what?
I mean, I know we're partnered with great people like Jonathan Dawson, understanding the science and how the people think and act is one approach. So there are many approaches. There are a lot of great coaches and trainers out there. They just do it a little bit differently. So I guess that's our way to do it.
Kara, your thoughts on coaching at the dealership level? I know you've been, in retail for a number of years now, and that's a pretty much needed thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's an excellent approach, especially in today's time. In the last few years, I think, most of our society is kind of honed in on what their employees are needing instead of what your employer thinks that you want. And a lot of that, I've seen working in retail and even outside of it, because money is not everything. People want time off. They want flexibility. They want a flexible schedule. They want to worry about their kids. Can I make it to the basketball game that they have? Certain things like that, religion, whatever it may be. And, I was just thinking as Cindy was talking about so much stuff that I talked with Chris Saraceno about, and it really opened my eyes about how many different approaches there are to coaching. And it all starts with getting to know your employees in the dealership. So definitely the right approach there.
Cindy,
Definitely.
Give us, if you don't mind, a little of the backstory on the panel that you're on the next Fixed Ops Roundtable, that Fixed Ops Branding Fixed. I know Michelle moderated that, but, give us a little of the insights, because that's coming up here in about just under 2 weeks on the show.
Yeah. So our specific panel is about marketing your dealership and how you're tying that into fixed ops. So we have a lot of great topics. Mine specifically is going to go over how to brand yourself online to really grab those people and retain your customers. But we go through so many things. It's a great panel, and definitely be there to see it.
All four of us are in the branding ourselves online business. David, you're no stranger to that as well. I see you all over LinkedIn with your posts, and congratulations. You're having a lot of success in that market as well.
Thank you.
Talk to us about the branding. Is that your initiative? That's not the dealership, right?
No, well, look, what I try and do is I try and, go that step further and just embrace customers. I really try and to push that genuine experience. So I just take that next step further and just try and promote it as much as I can. Because at the end of the day, it's all about customer experience. So that's what I try and focus on, just that, that customer experience.
And the customer experience, that is a big focus out there. I mean, here in the States, that's, been all the talk, we mentioned in culture here tonight, but, take us through that a little bit, if you don't mind, your focus on that.
Just the focus is meet and greet, treat them special, every story is different. So don't prejudge, get to know your customers, and then just see where it just takes you from there.
Well, David, what are your thoughts? Where's the industry headed? What's happening? Here in the States, we've seen some things that have radically changed on the sales side, interest rates and now inventory as well. What's happening there? I'm curious.
It's pretty much the same here. We're having a lot of shipping, issues. So they're coming in a bit later. So we are having a few push outs on, just say if there's a car due in, this month. Unfortunately, we've had a few push outs, by a couple of weeks. So it's starting to get really, really challenging, with that stuff. And again, we try and talk to our customers, keep contacting them every 2 weeks, let them know where they're at. So that's where it is at the moment.
Cindy, this change happening here as well, and you're seeing that firsthand.
Yeah, for sure. Just making sure that the customer knows they're staying in the loop. Communication is absolutely everything, right? Within the dealership, with your customers, and as long as you're doing that, then you're keeping them happy.
I love it. Coralie's in the chat tonight. Absolutely, coaching is important to refine skills, and Kara, coaching a big part of a lot of the stuff that we see in retail as well. That's really come into its own the last couple of years. And, Cindy mentioned Jonathan Dawson, the work he's doing down at Pinnacle Training Center with our friend John Fairchild as well. Kara, any thoughts on the coaching aspect?
Yeah, I think too, just being a young person in the industry, I see so many dealerships, trying to recruit young women or young people in general. And in my shoes, walking into the automotive industry, I came straight out of college. So everything was very structured. I was used to a classroom setting, taking my test, going, I had my syllabus, everything was there. And then jumping into this really fast-paced industry that I was watching around me, that there was a lack of training on in many areas, whether it was in sales or service and parts, whatever it may be. And as a young person, I think we're looking for that. If we want to be successful in this industry, we need to have the skills taught to us, people mentoring us, and all the tools in our belt that can help us succeed. And without coaching, we wouldn't get anywhere.
And you just had a great interview with somebody from CDK, and you talked about some of those aspects, the culture and the young people and the women. Do you want to tell us about that? Because I saw a post this week on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, I got to chat with Brian McDonald from CDK Global, and his take on it was right in line with mine, I would say, Ted, because he kind of sees the same vision that I have for other young people walking into this industry. And you've got people like me out here recruiting other young people. And he did talk one part in that interview about scholarship opportunities. And, after speaking with some of the Northwood students and some of the professors there, when I was in college, I had no idea that you could even get a degree in automotive, much less get scholarships to do that, the job opportunities that were there. So I think it's our job as leaders in the industry to go out and advocate and educate our community and other young people to take a chance on this career.
Let me ask everybody on the screen tonight, what's your role as an ambassador to bring people in the industry? I mean, people obviously, David and Cindy, they look up to you, they see your posts, they hear about what you're doing. In a way, we're role models as well, but they're looking, for, for, different clues to get in the industry or whether they're in and maybe whether they should stay in or, take a step out. What are Cindy, your thoughts? And then David on that.
That's a really great question. I love the car industry. So of course I'm going to say everyone needs to come into the industry. The coaching thing is just so important. I'm going to brag on myself for a second. Okay. I started and hired a professional coach for myself this Monday. I started. So I have my team that's there obviously to coach me and to help also then with my stores. But that just shows how important it is, because that's my job, is to hold these stores accountable and to coach them. But then what do I have? I'm taking it up to the next level. So super exciting. I just love this car industry, and maybe I need to learn a little bit more here to how do I recruit and get more people into this industry. Yeah.
And David, your role as an ambassador, ultimately a recruiter. I know Liza Borges is going to open our event in 2 weeks, and she talks about how a lot of what they do ends up recruiting people to Carter Myers. David, your thought?
Just what I recommend, just be proactive, get your training up to date, always ask an experienced person. And I'm going to plug you here, Ted, and you guys jump on Fixed Ops, because talking to you guys gives so much experience and so many different avenues that you can approach different things with the car industry. It's always new. There's not just one story, there's plenty of things to learn, and just get your training and coaching and you'll love it.
Kara, I'm curious, a lot of women worked at the dealership group where you were at for a number of years. Were you in a way recruiting as well? I mean, maybe not intentionally, but was that, sort of a byproduct of what you did?
Absolutely. I remember when I first started there, I was the youngest person at those dealerships. I think there was one receptionist that might have had a year on me. She might have been a year younger than me, but we had no young people and very few women. And luckily I had a great mentor there that was kind of pushing the women in automotive thing as well. But to have the exposure that we had online, and for myself included, I was learning. I was new to the industry, and to showcase my journey through that on social media was really interesting. And that's how we recruited a lot of the people that are still there, that came to work with me over my course of almost 4 years, was just being as transparent as possible. Because I think, especially as young people, we have a certain picture painted in our head of what the automotive industry is and what car dealerships are. And I can tell you from my own experience, it was a complete 180. I had no idea that there was so much opportunity in this wonderful industry for young people like me. And it doesn't matter what skill sets you have, what kind of person you are, there's a place for everybody in this industry. And we just have to be better about showcasing that and being transparent and kind of putting a spotlight internally to showcase the rest of the world what we can do.
Well said. Super. we've been playing some trivia with the guests the last 4, 6, 8 weeks on the 80s, and I know you got something special for us tonight. I'm not sure what you got, but
We
think
do.
it's about time.
We switched it up on
Okay.
Monday and played a little bit of trivia, but we're switching it back and we're going to play Guess Who, because we still have some people sending in some 80s photos of themselves from when
do,
they were young. So I think tonight I have 3 different photos, and it just so happens, weirdly enough, that we were just talking about women in automotive, because all 3 of them are women tonight that sent in photos, and all 3 are well known in the Fixed Ops Roundtable community. And I think you guys are going to get a kick out of some of these pictures. So if you're watching us live tonight, make sure to comment down below and help our guest tonight try to figure out who these people are. And maybe Ted will give us some clues as well.
I know Tiffany, who's in the chat, by the way, is an F&I manager, Cindy, as well. And she's up in Madison, Wisconsin. And I know we had one of her pictures here a few weeks ago. So, all right, I'll let you roll with it. So, and audience, you can chime in. So,
all right, here is our first one.
Okay.
And Ted, maybe you can give us some clues on who this young lady is sitting in Santa's lap.
This young lady has been on the Fix Ops Roundtable several times. She works with a technology company that almost every dealership has in their stores in service and parts, particularly on the service side. And she's a very well-known person. She's a great spokesperson for the industry today. She's grown up to be a fantastic ambassador for automotive. And Sean and Tiffany, you may know who it is, but she's been on here a number of times, and she'll be on in about 10 days, and she's doing a big panel. I'll say the company she works with is owned by Cox Automotive. All right, so it's a very big brand, and she's a great friend of the Roundtable. And I think, Kara, you met her a while back, maybe back at the March Magic event where we did a promo with her, I think early on. So
I did. I met her at least one time, and I will say she has a really unique last name that I loved.
Yep. And there she is with Santa. So anybody want to take a shot who this is? Oh, Tony Owens. I know, but I can't think of it.
Tony always says this. This is me, Tony. I feel you.
All right. She works with X Time, okay, which is owned by Cox Automotive. It's the biggest brand in scheduling service appointments, and she is the spokesperson for X Time. Good guess, Allie. No, not Sarah. No.
Cindy, any guesses?
But similar age, I think. Yeah.
I don't know.
This one might be a little tough. Yep, there she is.
Jade.
Turbury. Yeah.
What a cute picture.
Yeah. Jade Turbury. And, this time she's going to be on the show representing Kelly Blue Book, which is also a Cox brand. But Jade does a great job for the industry. So, yeah, that's her.
All right, let's see if we can get this second one here. Look at this. And I have to say, standing next to that car, maybe it was something there that she knew she was going to be in the automotive industry one day.
Yeah. Tony Owens, look at those white sidewalls. Remember those days on the tire?
This lady should look very familiar because you've seen her very recently on the Roundtable After Dark.
Okay. All right. And is she on the next event or?
She is on the next event. She is on a panel with a bunch of ladies.
Oh, okay. You're narrowing it down.
Any guesses, David?
Is it yourself?
It's not me.
It's not Kara?
I wasn't even thought of in the 80s.
Yeah.
But it's somebody that you got to know tonight.
Yeah. I know who it is.
Tony got it right.
Yeah, it is Cindy.
It is.
Oh,
Cindy.
wow. Okay.
It's Cindy. Yeah. That's a great picture, Cindy.
Thank you. My dad had that car for 500,000 miles.
Wow.
That was the childhood car.
Where'd you grow up, by the way?
Outside of Tampa, Florida.
Oh, so you grew up there. Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit north.
Oh, it's a great picture.
All right, we got one more here.
All right, one more.
We got this little cutie, looks like with her mom, maybe.
Oh. Yeah, she is a cutie. Look at that.
And
Now, Kara, I have not seen this picture before.
you haven't. This one was sent directly to me.
To you.
And I will say it's Ted's favorite guest.
You're going to really go with that tonight, huh? The favorite guest.
I am.
Okay.
Yep. She's been in the chat tonight. She is a fixed ops director at a Jaguar Land Rover store here in Texas.
And by the way, isn't that great? We have a fixed ops director, a lady on the show. I mean, who's doing that? That's fantastic.
I know. She has a great personality. She's really rising star on social media lately. I've got to know her really well. I know she knows Sarah Vantine really well. But she's been on the show a couple times on After Dark, and she's been in the comments tonight.
Oh.
Tony, go through the comments. Get another one.
Ted, do you know who this is?
I know who it is. Yes, I know. I know who it is. Of course I know who it is. Yeah. It's Allie.
It is Allie. Allie Peters.
And Allie Peters is going to be on a panel with Sarah Vantine on leadership in the dealership business. That's a fantastic panel. It's on day one of the roundtable. Kara mentioned the agenda is online, and that's going to be, I think, late morning, Allie. So you did a great job on that. And so, Allie, I guess you sent that directly to Kara is how that worked out. Okay. All right, good.
Yeah, we'll see who's Allie's favorite, Ted.
Yes, Kara, you're everybody's favorite. So
Allie called Ted, if you weren't watching the other day, I showed a picture of Ted from the 80s, and Allie said, "Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger?"
See, and then I liked her right away after that. So
that's why I always joke that Ted's favorite is Allie.
And David, I don't get that comment that often. Hard to believe, right? All right. Hey, so Tony, we wish you a quick recovery and get back to work at Germain. I know you're itching to get out there. I've watched all the posts you've been putting on social media, and he called me a couple times, Kara, as well. So Tony's going to be joining us in Orlando, Kara, at the pop-up event for the Ford Parts and Service Club Orlando on July 6th. So Tony, looking forward to seeing you in person there as well. So David, thank you for joining us tonight, and Cindy also as well.
Very happy to be here.
All right. So, Kara, I know the pop-up is Thursday, and give us again the dates on the big event. It's the following week, right?
Yes, following week on May 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Okay. And like we said earlier, if you haven't already got your complimentary tickets, you can grab them after the show at fixedopsroundtable.com.
That's filling up, and it's an action-packed 4 days and a lot of stuff, a lot of panels and great stuff. And Coralie, thank you for all you do for the industry as well. So, David and Cindy, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. And thank you, David, for waking up extra early, from the future for us. Cindy, good to see you.
That's okay.
And you got to thank Allie for coming from Atlanta Hartsfield, right, tonight. So.
Right. Thank you, Allie, for always bringing a smile to Ted's face. We appreciate everybody watching tonight and sharing our content and interacting with us on social media. And get ready to go back to the 80s with the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And we will see everybody on Monday at 8 p.m.